and make childbirth slightly less traumatic. In other words, it was the medieval version of take two and try not to scream. But in larger doses, or just poorly timed ones, henbane could cause delirium, hallucinations, wild agitation, and in some cases, a heartfelt conversation with a turnip you thought was your deceased grandmother. It contains scopolamine and hyoscyamine, which interfere with neurotransmitters in the brain. To put it non-scientifically, your medieval brain gets weird, fast. Visual distortions, disorientation, dry mouth, extreme thirst, and spontaneous outbursts of interpretive dance were all on the menu. Henbane was often smoked, brewed into teas, or even combined with fat and smeared on the skin. A popular delivery method for anyone who didn't like their consciousness arranged in a linear fashion. Now, was it legal? Technically, yes. Controlled substances weren't a thing yet. But it was controversial, especially with the church. Anything that altered perception was suspicious. Visions were supposed to come from saints, not shrubs. Still, henbane had fans. Among healers, mystics, and people with nothing to lose. It even made its way into beer recipes before being banned in favour of safer additives like hops. Few plants in the medieval world were as feared, revered, and dramatically misunderstood as mandrake, a root so potent and weirdly human-shaped that it sparked a mix of botany, folklore, and sheer panic. Botanically known as Mandragora officinarum, the mandrake was associated with sleep, hallucinations, fertility, and a high probability of either mystical visions or waking up in a ditch next to a confused goat. Either way, something happened. Medieval herbalists believed that the root, which often resembled a stubby, contorted human figure, contained powerful magical and medicinal properties. It was a sedative, an anesthetic, an aphrodisiac, and, according to some, a conduit to prophetic dreams. You could boil it in wine to calm pain, or you could inhale its fumes and immediately question all your life decisions. But the real fame of the mandrake came from its alleged habit of screaming when uprooted. Yes, screaming. As in, don't pull me out of the dirt or you'll die from the noise kind of screaming. Medieval texts warned that simply hearing the mandrake's cry could kill a man, which naturally led to some creative harvesting techniques. The most famous involved tying the root to a dog, walking away, and letting the poor animal do the dirty work. The assumption was that the dog would die